Hi there, space fans. Can anybody tell me where I am? There's only a few places in the world like this, and this is the one at Kennedy Space Center, the Apollo Saturn V Center, where we have a real Saturn V moon rocket, and right behind me over here is a real lunar module. That is not a mock-up or any sort of a replica. It was built for Apollo 15. But it never flew because we moved up the missions that included a lunar rover, and this particular design could not accommodate that. So they set it aside and used another one, and so we got this one here. It's the only one like it on the planet that was considered to be flight ready at the time it was built. The other two that you can see, one in Washington, D.C. and one in on Long Island, New York, they were never completed. All right, so we have the only one like that here at the Kennedy Space Center. Now we're going to be walking along this. You can see mission patches here all along this building, and they represent each of the missions that had astronauts on them for the Apollo missions. So I'm going to be walking underneath here. You can see behind me another view of the lunar module. And we're going to walk underneath this rocket. This is only one of two places you can do that. The other one is at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center in Huntsville, Alabama. The third Saturn V, or complete Saturn V, is at the Johnson Space Center, and you cannot walk underneath that one. It's kind of in a big building, whereas this one and the one in Huntsville have a lot of exhibits and things like that surrounding them, which is pretty cool. I've been to see all three of them, so I might be a little biased, but I think we had the best presentation of a Saturn V. And this is the only one that is within just a few miles of where they were actually launched, Launch Complex 39A and 39B. And if you were to go out these doors right over here, you could go out on the patio and actually see where these launches occurred. Now, these are still active launch sites. There's only two at Kennedy Space Center, 39A and 39B. They were used throughout the Apollo program as well as the Space Shuttle program. Right now, 39A is being leased from NASA by SpaceX, and they are using that for their Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy rockets, and eventually, whenever it becomes operational, Starship. You can see behind me there, that is from the second stage, 5 of these J2 engines here. And I'm walking underneath the first stage right now. It's pretty amazing. It looks like something like a Star Destroyer out of Star Wars, because from the other end it looks like it goes on and on forever, and it's pretty cool to walk underneath it like this. It's pretty amazing. We have some more of the mission patches over there, and we're getting close to the end. 75% of the mass of the Saturn V was this first stage. Generated 7.5 million pounds of thrust at liftoff, and it's because of these, wait for it, these massive F1 engines you see right here, 5 of them, 7.5 million pounds of thrust each. When this thing was firing for 2 minutes and 42 seconds, these things would use up 15 tons of propellant per second. All right, and so this is, I never get tired. When I come in for work, when I'm working out in this building, it never gets old to look up and see that amazingly large Saturn V rocket, and it's absolutely real. We had some left over when we canceled Apollo 18, 19, and 20, and so they became museum exhibits. What you see behind me is a real Apollo spacecraft. We have the Command and Service Module here together, also called the CSM for Command and Service Module. This is absolutely real. It could have been used, but it wasn't. It was going to be a backup spacecraft for Skylab missions, but we never had to use it for that. But this is a pretty cool place. I never get tired of walking in this building. It's just absolutely amazing. So if you get a chance to come out here sometime, we have this building open as part of the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex, and it's a pretty neat place. So if you get a chance to come out here, just look at the website for the visitor complex and come check it out. It's a pretty neat place. The only one like this in the world. So come and join us sometime. Ad Astra.